you're a Pluto fan, well I'm sorry y'all. Since the 30s, Pluto's been an oddball. Check it sorted out, way elliptical, kinda tilted to him trying to be critical. Until Neptune is gonna get crossed soon. Staring at Sharon, pretty big for a moon.
Well, I think it's great. Why you gotta hate? Going around the sun, having fun like the other eight. Pluto's still a planet if I desire. It's big, it's round, and it's not on fire. Planet means whatever we mean when we mean it. If it's big, it's round, we know it when we see
Hello
it.
everybody, it's your boy T Cubed, and we're here with a really fun and also really competitive deck profile. We're playing Blouse today. And so, of course, this is the old school Blouse starter, the start of the ride chain. You know, you ride the grade 1 over and you search the grade 2. Alright, and so I like to start with my triggers because the triggers can tell a lot about a deck. And we're running not 4, but 8 stands. And so the point of the deck isn't to crit your opponent's face off, it's to basically threat with the crit and then stand all your rear guards, obviously. And so we're running 2 Grapple Mania, which if it boosts an attack that hits the Vanguard, you unflip a damage and it goes back to the deck. And we're running 4 of the 7k attackers. And we're also running 3 criticals that just slide into the soul and unflip. And the 1 draw trigger. Now, T Cubed doesn't like not running draw triggers. And so I had to run 1. So whenever T Cubed drives checks this, it's mainly defensively and it's never bad. Then we're running 4 heal triggers because Gundams. And so we're actually main decking 2 Morgan Rote because it's just generally a good card to just have. It's a 10k shield, and when your Blau Vanguard hits, you counterblast 1, search top 3 for another Blau. And so on to the grade 1s. And T Cube is running straight up the ride chain as foretold by the starter. And so we got our grade 1 here, that when you call it to a rearguard circle, you ditch a grade 3 to search out the grade 3 stern. And when you ride it over the starter, you search out the grade 2. And then we're running 4 Polar Stern, just nice to have a 10k attacker. 4 Perfect Guards, obviously, because we don't have a quintet wall. And I'm running 2 Claydol Mechanics, because if you're running Blouse, you obviously know how counterblast intensive it is. And Claydol Mechanic, just being a good 7k booster, and when you call it, you unflip, is just really pivotal to the deck and just maintaining your resources. And so the grade 2 lineup's kind of iffy because we are running rank 1 ride chain, and what that basically means, we can run less grade 2s and we can run more of whatever else we want to. And so I'm actually only running 3 Blau Kluger on the Vanguard circle. If it hits your opponent's Vanguard, you unflip a damage. And we're running 3 Great Bear because it's a Great Bear and it's a 12k attacker when you have a Blau Vanguard. And also we're running 3 Mars, best planet in the world. When your Blau Vanguard hits, you counterblast 1 and it makes itself a stand trigger by restanding and counterblasting 5. Not counterblasting 5. Excuse T Cubed, he's a little bit tired. He gains 5k. And so we're also running the obligatory 4 Stern, because if you're running the ride chain, you just want to have 4 Stern. And also, you can sort of thin the deck out by calling the grade 1 here to a rearguard circle and ditching a Stern to search out a Stern, which is just a really good way to thin out the deck and cycle through your resources. And last but not least, we're running the probably T Cube's favorite boss card in the entire Nova Grapple universe. We're running 4 Plutos. Now Pluto, it's a power breaker, so at 4 damage you gain 5k, which is really good when you have a 6k and above booster behind it, hitting 21, 22 respectively. And if you run Tough Boys, you hit 23, which is really good against cross rides. And so when you hit, and this is not his limit break skill, when you hit with him, you counterblast 3 and you restand 2 units, which gets really amazing when you have things like Mars as your rear guard, and you have things like Great Bear as your rear guard, And also when you have, where is he? Morgan-Rot as a booster. And potentially you can get a Counterblast 5 turn that gets really nutty and ends up with you plussing a lot. And your opponent screaming, why? Why am I facing this? Why am I not dealing with Galaxy? And so that's the deck profile, guys. It's really fun, really casual, and it's also really competitive. So this is your boy, T-Cube.